That's really interesting. We're seeing that type of Trump nostalgia because the time from 2016 to 2020, when you look back and really think about it, it was a pretty divisive time for this country. Do you think voters now and Trump supporters and people likely to vote for Trump are looking back at his presidency with rose colored glasses because his approval rating sits at 55%?
Well, yes, they didn't give him 55% at the time. So either there's nostalgia going back, or they say, oh, in retrospect, we would have been better off had we stuck with Trump for another term. Maybe we should give him a chance. Look, right now, the choices are really only between Biden and Trump, look, they generally think that the economy was better under Trump and that he did a better job managing the economy. And that's central issues here are immigration and inflation. And those are two issues that Trump was always out early on immigration. That was an issue that most people didn't care about, and it really kind of burst on the scene. And I don't think the demonstrations that you're seeing now on campus, they're surely not hurting Biden. I think the president finally came out and gave a speech, but he's been quiet for 9 days on that. And Donald Trump wouldn't have been quiet for 9 days.
Let's continue to talk about Donald Trump just a little bit before we get to Biden. As we know, he's facing legal trouble. He's been in a Manhattan courtroom over the past couple weeks with only recesses on Wednesdays. Because he's kind of hindered here in the court of law, do you think that's hurting his campaign chances because it's less time he's out on the road?
Well, ironically, the less Trump says things, the better he does. So the evidence was he did a lot better when they kicked him off X or Twitter, and than he did when he was on it. So I don't know whether it's hurt or not from the campaigning, and right now the legal cases don't seem to be working against him. And whether or not it's going to work against him if he's convicted, that's a different story. We have questions on that. It shows it might make some difference, a couple of point difference, or make the race even. But who really knows? We can't predict things that are unprecedented in any really accurate way. Just as I used to, when I was working with President Clinton, the Washington Post said, "Oh, if he's impeached, he'll have to resign," and I said, "No, that's not the case." And in fact, not only was that not the case, but he successfully beat back the impeachment and finished his term. We don't know what's going to happen here if he's convicted. We don't know what's going to happen if he's found innocent in this New York case. And that is a real, more than a real possibility here, even in New York, and even with the deck stacked because of the interesting thing that they have several lawyers on the jury, and I've never heard of lawyers being on the jury. So it's kind of it'll but as I look at it, the people are not factoring those cases much into it. And the question is, will they? I mean, that's the biggest thing the Democrats have going for them. If he's convicted of something, Joe Biden will be able to say, "Can you appoint a convicted felon to the presidency?"